died in rapid succession, then the people's survival was also in danger. If all kinds of lives grew vigorously there, then that place would be full of vigor and vitality, and its people would live happily and for a long time. Everyone's futures are related closely to other lives, and when they are indifferent to or even abusive of them, then there is no doubt that they will suffer unhappy and stressful futures. Can you imagine a person surviving in a barren desert? There is no doubt that they would not survive for very long by themselves. Why? Because there is no other life. It is only where all kinds of lives thrive and survive easily that people can live well. The 8 dogs in our Xanadu no longer exist. The main responsibility rested with the tour guide because I did not teach everyone how to care for life. It was strictly negligence on my part. Secondly, another main responsibility lied with Dinghai Celestial because I told him clearly to be responsible for feeding the dogs. This showed that Dinghai did not have a strong sense of responsibility and that he did not care for or revere life enough. It is not difficult to raise dogs. I have raised more than a dozen. Except for one dog who had a pimple on its neck and needed to be taken to the veterinary hospital for surgery, none of the others have ever had any problems which required medications or injections, and they all lived well. To raise dogs, you only need to pay attention to 5 things. The first one is to feed them fresh food at least once every day but never to let them eat it when it gets stale. The second is to keep them warm in cold weather because dogs cannot tolerate cold weather. The third is that their homes must be kept clean. The fourth is that they must be bathed regularly to remove any parasites from them. And finally, the fifth and most important rule is to make sure that they feel your love for them. It is unlikely that a dog will get sick and die prematurely if you follow these 5 rules. How should Chanyuan Celestials care for animals and revere life? I do not need to say anything profound, I will just give you a few examples. When I was a teacher in Lifechanyuan Body Mine No. 2 Middle School in Gansu, I kept a few cats and some chickens until the chickens were eventually discovered and eaten by weasels. The last chicken always followed a Huang wherever she went. When a Huang cooked in the kitchen, it followed her and laid at her feet. When a Huang was asleep, it laid beside the bed. The cat always walked around her, but as soon as a Huang sat down, it would jump into her arms immediately. Why was that? Because a Huang took special care of and cherished all the little animals. We raised myna birds in the 4th branch and one day, accidentally, one of them flew out and disappeared. A Huang looked everywhere for it and shouted everywhere, "Myna, come home. Myna, come back." Suddenly, I witnessed the myna fly over from a distant eucalyptus tree straight into her arms. Do you remember Snow Leopard, our dog from the 4th branch? Aside from his being born with high spirituality, most of his skills were taught to him by a Huang. Do you know how a Huang managed and protected Snow Leopard? At night, afraid that he would be frozen, she put a thick layer of cotton cloth in the carton where he slept. After the puppy lay down, she covered him with an old cotton towel. When she heard his chirping sound at night, she knew that he needed to relieve himself, so she got up quickly and opened the door for him. After he came back, she could then fall back asleep. We had a bird park in the 4th branch. No matter whether there were pigeons or parrots, there were basically no major problems. Do you know how the birds survived? A Huang maintained their food and water every day and never missed one, otherwise the birds would have died long before. I dispute with a Huang on a lot of issues, but one thing I have to admire about her is her love for the little animals. I knew a long time ago that a Huang must be rewarded. If we treat all life kindly, then it would treat us kindly too. Today, of all the Chanyuan Celestials, a Huang and I have the best living conditions. Why do we? The fundamental reason is that we have treated life kindly, and it is a reward from Tao. Sanhai Celestial and Jiao Yi Celestial should still remember that when I left Zimbabwe before April 18th, I explained to them that we must treat all the lives in the family well, even the grasses and trees, so that there will be no crises in our lives. Even small trees and grasses will help to eliminate many risks. Do you remember how I treated bees and mice kindly? Remember that in our homes, killing snakes is never allowed. Animals are more afraid of cold than people are. I raised a very smart black German Shepherd for the first time in Zimbabwe. One year in winter, it was not particularly cold. Usually, the dog slept in his doghouse in the yard, but one day as I opened the door, he insisted on coming inside. I did not normally let him in, but after he squeezed in that day, he would not leave no matter how I pushed him. After a while, I found him hiding curled up behind a sofa and looking at me pitifully. I finally realized that it was too cold outside and that the dog needed warmth. From then on, whenever it was cold, I would add more layer of insulation, even shabby blankets to his doghouse. We once had 2 kittens in the 4th branch which had been brought from Linsong by CN, but they both died soon thereafter. I will tell you why that happened. Both of them had frozen to death. After I found that one of the kittens had frozen to death, I hurriedly took the other one to my room and let it crawl into my bed, but sadly, many of its internal organs had already stopped functioning and it died the following day. I raised a few dogs when I lived in a villa next to an embassy in Zimbabwe. In the end, there were too many of them, so I gave a dog named De Huang to the girl who washed clothes for me. De Huang was tall and powerful, but he died within a few days after the girl's father brought him into their home. The girls said that ever since he brought De Huang into their house, he never ate or drank, and finally succumbed to thirst and starvation. Another 2 dogs I raised in Zimbabwe, Lem and Rambo, were both fine when I was there, but as soon as I left, they died in rapid succession. Rambo was said to have been hit by a car. Given the above examples, I want everyone to know how to love animals and revere lives. Ask yourself, have you ever cared for lives like this? If you have not, it means that the structure of your life is still too rough, and that you are not yet worthy to enter heaven.
Chanyuan Sao Jirbui de Ba Da Suya. 8 Attainments to be Chanyuan Celestial. Xiefeng. May 9, 2007. The Chanyuan Celestials in Lifechanyuan are those who have been equipped with the values of heaven but still live in mortal world, or can also be said that with one foot remaining in the mortal world while the other foot has stepped into the gate of heaven. They are the most civilized human beings in mortal world and new celestials on the point of being born at the same time. In short, Chanyuan Celestials should have the following 8 attainments. Reverence to the greatest creator, faith in Jesus. Chanyuan Celestials show reverence for the soul and only, amorphous, neutral, mysterious, supremely powerful, wise, impartial of the greatest creator. Show reverence for all forms of life, no killing and tormenting. Show reverence for nature. Regard nature as the mother of life and the emancipating teacher, and intermingle with nature in a harmonious way. Regard Jesus the Christ as the emancipating teacher. Have belief in that Jesus the Christ is just the gate for heaven and what Jesus said is truth, life, and road, and have strong belief of their salvation with the help of Jesus. Show profound wisdom and follow Buddha. Chanyuan Celestials are the most septennial people. They have been equipped with non-form thinking, knowing the secret of life and 36-dimensional space, traveling in the non-material world consciously. They follow the teaching of Buddha Sakyamuni. They are the closest disciples of Skyamuni and people who are heading for the Elysium world by Buddhist teaching. Love Lao Tzu and follow Taoism. Chanyuan Celestials keep in the state of zero or non-governing state all the time, thus they possess powerful potential and kinetic energy, which makes them very special among a group of people, firm and immanent, natural and unconventional, formal and formless at the same time. They absorb the essence produced by the sun, the moon, and the earth. They have read books in different historical times. They are so powerful and so unobtrusive. Chanyuan Celestials are followers of celestial Lao Tzu. They have love for Lao Tzu and have the same idea with him. Fearless, follow the Prophet Muhammad. Chanyuan Celestials are fearless because they have the knowledge about the secret of non-material world. They would not disappear, even the sky and the earth disappears. Knowing that the physical body is just the carrier of soul, they are very clear that even floods and fire would not hurt their soul. Even earth crumbles would not hurt their spiritual entity. A complete idealist is absolutely fearless. Therefore, the Chanyuan Celestials are human beings of indomitable spirit, broad, bright, and pure in mind. They are followers of the Prophet Muhammad, firm in belief, indomitable in morality and spirit. They have no fear in front of evil. They keep countenance in front of guns and knives. Truth-seeking, science-supporting. Falsehood and superstition have no ground in Chanyuan celestials. They do everything on the basis of fact according to logic and following the principle of science. Telegnosis serves as their navigation. They are integrity and dignity, not believing any hearsay, crotchety words, and fantastic talks. Flexible in thinking. Every Chanyuan celestial knows that there is not settled rules, and the only rule is that rules are always variable according to the situation. Everything is changing timely, and no form is form. No law and non. Law is the law, and there is no from and non-form is the form. Except invariable the greatest creator and invariable Tao. Everything might be changed with time and space therefore. The Chanyuan celestials do not be restrained by the traditional ideas and ancient preaching or doctrine. Their thinking is flexible, and they are very smart in dealing with things because they never justify things according to previous principles or traditional preaching. While the tenet of following the Tao of the greatest creator will not have any change, the method and approaches can be changeable, while the direction and goal of going to the celestial archipelago will not have any change. The method of self-improvement and self-refinement is changeable at any time. Diligent, earnest, skillful. Chanyuan celestials are the most diligent people in the world. They are industrious people both in physical work and mental work. They are diligent in thinking and creating, even creating for stuffs they use. They refuse to be lazy and become parasites. They never gain advantage over others by tricks, even if the missing dollars on the ground will not attract their attention. They do not desire for other people's creation. They are with sureness and live frankly all their life. All Chanyuan celestials are well-educated and capable, and they are able to depend on at least one type of skill for a living. Open-minded and lively, keep the pure original forever. All the Chanyuan celestials are open-minded and lively, with frequent smile on their faces or beautiful dreams in their hearts. They are very frank in behavior and talk, never suppressing themselves or covering the expression of being saints. They do not pretend to be moralists. Instead, their behaviors are just like the innocent kids enjoying playing with mud, water, mountain, cats, dogs, snows, or rains. They can often make themselves happy as well as others. Agony and trouble are never their benefits. What are listed here are the 8 attainments to be Chanyuan celestial. It is also a touchstone and watershed for identifying a Chanyuan celestial. 1.8. 18 traditional values subverted by Lifechanyuan. CFing. October 24, 2007. In traditional concept, family is the source of happy life, while in the opinion of Lifechanyuan, family is the miserable source of human life and humanity. Traditional concept considers that life is the result of evolution or is created by gods. Lifechanyuan proclaims life is created by super-celestial beings led by gods according to the design of the greatest creator. Traditional concept considers the greatest creator is I am what I am. Lifechanyuan proclaims that the greatest creator comes from Wuji Taiji. Traditional concept considers God is the greatest creator. Lifechanyuan proclaims that God is created by the greatest creator, and all gods are the sons of the greatest creator. Traditional concept considers Sakyamuni is the ancestor of Buddha, and Lifechanyuan proclaims Sakyamuni is not the ancestor of Buddha, and the greatest creator is the ancestor of Buddha. Traditional concept considers universe comes from the Big Bang, while Lifechanyuan proclaims it is the outcome of the greatest creator's consciousness. Traditional concept considers Adam and Eve were the ancestors of all humanity, while Lifechanyuan proclaims they are not the ancestors of all human beings, but are just the ancestors of Israel and Middle East regions. Traditional concept considers Confucianism, Buddhism, and Taoism are the Chinese cultural core. Lifechanyuan proclaims the holographic order consciousness is the Chinese cultural core. Traditional concept considers that moon is formed naturally, while Lifechanyuan proclaims that moon is specially produced by super-celestial beings and then is installed in sky for the human being. Traditional concept considers the self-refiners and self-improvers need to abstain from love, while Lifechanyuan proclaims love is a precious gift endowed by the greatest creator, and people should fully enjoy the love. Traditional concept has a blurry cognition on heaven. Lifechanyuan has a clear cognition on heaven. Traditional concept thinks that self-refining and self-improving require adopting the serious and ascetic method. Lifechanyuan proclaims that self-refining and self-improving should adopt the methods aiming at joy and happiness. Traditional concept thinks the beautiful future need to be created by working, while Lifechanyuan proclaims that the beautiful future depends on the creation of mind. Traditional concept thinks that the memory of people exists in brain, while Lifechanyuan proclaims the memory of people does not exist in brain, but in subconsciousness, and subconsciousness does not exist in human body, but in space-time. Traditional concept thinks the existence determines consciousness, while Lifechanyuan proclaims consciousness determines existence. Traditional concept thinks that life will receive the final judgment. Lifechanyuan proclaims there is no final judgment, and judgment goes on at every moment. Life will not be judged by the greatest creator, gods, Buddha or king of hell, but the Tao of the greatest creator. The Tao of the greatest creator operates at every moment. Traditional concept thinks the greatest creator can talk to people directly or never talk to people. Lifechanyuan proclaims that everything is the words of the greatest creator. All the changing phenomena are the conversations between the greatest creator and the people who can read the wordless book can directly talk to the greatest creator. Traditional concept thinks Satan is a demon and an enemy of the greatest creator. Lifechanyuan proclaims Satan is a god, and he is a firm supporter to maintain the symmetry and balance of universal life order. In fact, hundreds and thousands of traditional values needing to be subverted by Lifechanyuan. I just put forward 18 for you to think, and you will have to summarize the rest by yourselves. 40 passes from human to Chanyuan celestial. Dayform Buddha. October 22, 2006. Without the change of non-material structure of life, there would be no change of the nature of life. 40 passes must be broken through for the change from a human being to a Chanyuan celestial. Consciousness of human being has been Materialism of atheism of everything regular thinking under is listed here from the left to the right is just the process for taking flight to the land of the immortal. How difficult it is depends on your own experiences. 80 FAQs concerning the home without marriage and family. 1. CFing. August 25th, 2007. Q. Why set up the home without marriage and family? A. For the purpose of realizing the ideals of our saints and sages and the hope of our people. For the purpose of setting a good example for human beings. For the purpose of providing a good environment to the Chanyuan celestial for their self-improvement and experiencing the life of celestials in the 1,000-year world. Question: who are eligible to enter into the home without marriage and family? A. Only the most civilized and the best could be permitted to enter into the home without marriage and family, or you may call it as gathering the ripened crops. Q. Who is the leader of the home without marriage and family? A. All of those people who are able to live their life in strict accordance with Lifechanyuan value can be the leaders. Q. Where is the home without marriage and family? A. Everywhere with proper conditions. Q. Is it possible for me to enter into the home without marriage and family? A. Sorry, unless you have been baptized by Lifechanyuan value. Q. Why only those being baptized by Lifechanyuan value are permitted to enter the home without marriage and family? A. Without the baptism, you will be totally at a loss as what to say and what to do in the home without marriage and family. Question: can Chanyuan celestial enter into the home without marriage and family? A. No. Only those who have been devoting all their energies to the construction of Lifechanyuan for at least a half year are eligible. Question: do the people in the home without marriage and family lead an austere life? A. Definitely not. On the contrary, they will live the most prosperous and lively life. Question: how can you ensure that? A. People in the home without marriage and family are the most outstanding and creative group in human society. Question: do you care only your own well-being and not the poor? A. We only care spirit and mind. Material things are not our concern and should be worked out by oneself. Question: where do funds of the home without marriage and family come from? A. Through the dedication and creation of people in the home without marriage and family. Question: what would you do if people in the home without marriage and family become lazy? A. It is impossible for them to become lazy because laziness will make their conscience uncomfortable. Question: is it possible for the home without marriage and family to proceed forwards autocracy? A. Each of those being baptized into Lifechanyuan is follower of Tao with profound wisdom, clear and bright mind. No one is willing to be shoved around and cannot be shoved around except the most civilized approach. Question: is there any private property in the home without marriage and family? A. No. Everything belongs to the public. Question: then there is no individual privacy and freedom in any sense? A. Absolutely not. Each residence is private, sacred, and inviolable. Nobody is allowed to intrude without the master's permission. Question: then, private property actually exists, right? A. No property is private here, and all of them belong to the home without marriage and family. But everybody in the home without marriage and family is capable of enjoying a life of great freedom and natural rights which cannot be deprived. For example, people should not disturb one another when taking a rest, neither can they deprive the other's basic safety. Question: is there forms of spousal relationship in the home without marriage and family? A. No. They neither marry nor get married. Question: then people with spousal relationship are not eligible to enter into the home without marriage and family, right? A. Sure, they can. But it is better for them entering together, and their marriage life come to an end since after. But they may choose to continue their intimacy in much civilized relationship, which none of others' business. A spouse planning to enter into the home without marriage and family must require the consent of the other party. Otherwise, any party of a marriage will not be permitted to enter into the home without marriage and family. Question: is the sexual choices in a random fashion in the home without marriage and family? A. Sure. People can choose their sexual forms in terms of their personal tastes according to the principle of ethics. They may choose to be in a pair, or 3, even 4 people together. Why will we restrict that if they feel gratitude to the greatest creator in their heart? If by so doing enables them to feel that life is good and thereby love life much more than before while devoting themselves selflessly into the hard work for human happiness, then Why will we restrict that? Question, doesn't that belong to assembling a crowd for promiscuity? A. People's concept on promiscuity is wrong. Promiscuity is limited to sexual behaviors between mother and son, father and daughter, grandparents and grandchildren, natural brothers and sisters. Those occurring between people without genetic connection should not be classified as lewdness. As for the term assembling the crowd, what is improper here? People in the world were often assembled for conferences, strikes, parades, sports activities, dancing, or other similar activities. Now that all of these assembling matters are proper, what is improper just for fun? Sexual behavior is nothing but a game for fun. Question then, do you mean sexual behavior in group is advocated in the home without marriage and family? A. Absolutely not. Because that kind of advocating will hurt millions of people in the world. Moral values established in secular society should be followed by secular individuals of the society. Otherwise, the normal social order would be disturbed and the whole society would lose its vitality and push human beings to disastrous situations. Question, well, why is it possible to have sexual freedom in the home without marriage and family? A. The secular world can't be compared with the home without marriage and family. The basic form of secular world is family, which requires strict husband and wife ties. Once free love affairs happened, it is painful for his/her spouse, their children, even their parents, which will injure the whole society in the end. But in the home without marriage and family, there are no families, no marriages, and people living here are far from the secular world. They have paid off their parents, children, friends, and the society before entering into the home without marriage and family. They will live a totally new life in the home without marriage and family. In addition, all of the members of the home without marriage and family are civilized and outstanding individuals with pure mind, and they would not hurt their spouse either. Therefore, the sexual freedom in the home without marriage and family should not be copied indiscriminately in the secular world. Question, what will you do if somebody is unwilling to follow your style? A. All members enjoy freedom here. He is free to follow his lifestyle, and nothing is imperative. Question, do all of you live together? A. Each member possesses a separate bedroom, bathroom, and a private area. They do not live together. Question, what about having meals? A. Yes. Eat together in the cafeteria. Question, how do you deal with different tastes? A. The cafeteria will make their effort to take account of different favorites and satisfy everybody. Q. What about your food, on vegetarian or meat diet? A. They may choose as their own will. Vegetarian may be on vegetarian diet, and those people whose favorites are meat may choose on meat diet. Nobody has the right to decide what the other people should to eat, but nobody is permitted to take wild animals or birds as their food. Question, are all of the members in the home without marriage and family Chinese? A. No. Chinese people only occupy a small ratio. Most people are whites and blacks or other races. Question, what to do if somebody gets sick? A. There are doctors and nurses in the home without marriage and family, and everything for the patients is free here. Whoever is sick will be treated with proper care. Q. What if somebody passes away? A. There are special organizations to cope with these things properly. There is no need to worry. Question, how do you allocate those who no longer capable of work? A. They will be attended by the most careful and the most sympathetic people. Q. Can they have children here? A. Sure. It's up to you. Some people may need to be persuaded to have children for the sake of humankind multiply. Question, will the baby be kept to oneself? A. No. The baby is the sweetheart of the whole human beings. From the time of pregnancy, all costs will be shouldered by the home without marriage and family, including future raising and education. Question, how to organize various jobs? A. Everybody in the home without marriage and family has outstanding abilities and hobbies. The home without marriage and family will provide circumstances for their individual strong points, and each person can choose to do what he or she likes most. Nobody will be forced or arranged. Question, but how to deal with different jobs and different preferences? A. The difference between the home without marriage and family and the secular world. Question, is there a clear division of labor for all of the members? Division of labor for all of the members? A. The goal of the home without marriage and family is that there is only one trade to be done for each member. For example, there is no need for the vegetable gardener to worry about the cleaning of his room. The dairywoman doesn't need to concern about washing her clothes. The businessman doesn't need to think about if a hot meal is available after a whole day's work, and the cook doesn't need to worry about the money. Everything will be organized orderly and systematically. Question: you say that everything is shared by the public. What if someone wants to spend money for his hobbies? A. There is an appropriate amount of pocket money for all. Q. What should they do for those people whose parents, children, or brothers and sisters were in need of them? A. It's not unnatural for this business, and it will be acted accordingly. Question: some of the babies in Chanyuan Celestial are very young, yet they want to enter into the home without marriage and family. What to do then? A. It will also be acted accordingly. The home without marriage and family will take nurseries, kindergartens, and schools in future if there are too many children. Question: could the parents and children